Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how the reality mirror won't smile until you do. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I heard from one of you who said, Tom, I'm a new subscriber, but I'm not new to manifesting and creating my reality. But here's my question. I've been trying to imagine a different behavior from a friend of mine. And what's happened is it seems to be getting worse, or the behavior seems to be, the behavior that I don't like seems to be more prominent. And I'm just wondering, maybe it's because they have their own, I know Neville Goddard talks about we don't have free will, but what does that really mean? Because maybe they have free will to act the way they want to act, I think is what your question was. Well, guys, we're going to unpack this today and more. The first thing I want to say is that with everything you say, everything you believe, every time you look or think about your friends, if you're not looking at them in the way that you desire them to be, the way that you would like them to be, then they are going to reflect back exactly what you're thinking, feeling, and believing in every moment. Remember, you're looking into a reality mirror, and that mirror won't smile until you do. So you're looking for evidence of the change in his behavior while you're looking at him in the same old way. If you keep looking in the mirror the same old way, you're going to get the same old reflection. That's the first thing I want to say. I want to hit free will in a little bit, but remember with free will, and we'll unpack what Neville and other spiritual teachers mean. But when all scripts are written, so the lifeline you're on, the film role that you've chosen, the alternative reality you win, if you resist it, if you fight against it, if you try to change it, then you don't have free will. You don't have free will to change the current script. What you do have free will to do is choose a new reality. Choose a new wish fulfilled. Choose your desired end. That's how you move to your desirable lifelines. That's how you influence reality. You don't influence it. Willpower only works in 3D reality, right? With physical things. You can get physical with the physical, right? And so you don't have free will to change a script because it's already been written. You've got to pick a new film role. And illuminate, and how do you do that? By illuminating your future, by lighting up your wish fulfilled, by imagining that and being it, and imagining it as already having it. That's what moves you to a new film role, or to a new alternative lifeline, or a new reality where you have that favorable script, your desired script. You're always following the script, but the question is, are you following the script unconsciously, where you have no free will, although you think you do? You're taking actions and you think you have free will. Or are you following it consciously, where you're going to follow the script while imagining your wish fulfilled? That's what we're going to get at today and more. Before I get started, I just want to say, guys, I am just delighted with the channel. Things are really taking off. I'm just happy to get this message out. I used to be able to respond to each comment on the channel and really respond in a detailed way to really answer your questions. And now it's really not, everything's possible, but I'd rather spend my time on getting the message to you out in videos. So I've made a decision not to respond to any of the comments, even if it's just to say hello. That way I'm not picking and choosing. And so I'm going to read them all to the extent that I can. And I'm certainly going to read your emails as well, although I won't be able to respond to questions on the emails either. It's not that I won't be able to. All things are possible, but I want to put my time, I want to put the energy in making these videos and getting this information out to you, right? So again, thank you for everything. And remember, when you do send me an email, I do read it. When you do write comments on the channel, I do read them to the extent that I can get to all of them. But really, what I'm delightful to do is just deliver more content to you. And remember, when you have a question, put it out there because everything's connected. And I'm going to pick up on it and everybody else is. So you remember what we talked about yesterday, your prayer is answered. The question's been answered. Right? So guys, let's unpack this today and more. So remember that you're looking at reality as reality. So if you're looking at reality like this guy, that's the reality you're going to create. You are thinking about reality as reality. So if you're smiling and feeling that love, that's the kind of reality that you're going to see. That's the kind of reality that you create with your perception. Remember, everything is streamed through your consciousness. Right? You are the 3D world. You are the universe. It's all within you, right? What you are believing about reality, you're believing as reality. What you are feeling about reality, you're feeling as reality. It's all you. Do you get it? What you're looking at, thinking about, believing, feeling, it's all reality as you're doing it. You're creating it, right? Your story, your inner talk is reality. You're creating it as you talk, right? The reality mirror doesn't create the future. Here's this is big. It only reflects the present. This is so big. And we're going to talk about the reality mirror today. But remember, it's the opposite of a normal mirror. So when you look into the reality mirror, the image on the other side is what's within you. That's your inner world. And what's reflected is 3D reality. 3D reality is the reflection of your inner world, the reflection of that reality mirror. So it only ever reflects the present. And then you're saying, well, if it does, then why do I look around and still see the old reality? Remember, you're looking as reality. You're thinking as reality. So every time you do that, you're just creating that reality. You're not giving the image a time to coalesce and appear in the 3D world. It's already there. It's already forming. You just need to see it, receive it, allow it. Right? This is what the state of allowing is. So it's already happening, but it doesn't create the future, it creates the present. So when you're looking in the mirror, smile, because that's what you're creating, right? And then it will coalesce and it will form into a 3D manifestation. It's already there, right? Let's unpack this a little bit more. So here's the mirror, right? So here, and I've got these figures, A, B, and C. I'm going to break it down a little bit more than I have in the past, right? On this side of the mirror, this is the world mirror, this is the reality mirror. It's not a normal mirror. When you look into this mirror, you're creating the image of your desired world. You're creating your inner world is created here, and then it's reflected here into physical reality. Okay, so what you imagine when you're smiling into the mirror, that's an immediate image that starts forming in the 3D. And notice I put it in solid here, even though you can't see it yet, because you're still looking here. A represents the 3D world as you perceive it, right? As you see it in physical form. But look I put them in dotted lines because that's fading in the moment that you're smiling into the mirror. Do you hear it? That old reality starts fading immediately, even though you don't see it. It's imperceptible, right? It's subtle. And I always say this to you guys. It's subtle and it's imperceptible until it isn't, until it becomes that, right? So here's the image on the other side. As you imagine that image, as you imagine your wish fulfilled, as you illuminate your future, we know there is no future. As you do that, it's reflected back in 3D reality. Right? That old reality begins fading immediately. Even though you can't see it, you still look at this as solid. But this is your reality now. The smiling you, right? The reality mirror won't smile until you do, right? As soon as you smile, and when I say smile, I mean light up your future desired. I mean occupy wish fulfilled, right? And I mean smiling as well. Smiling's so powerful, right? I mean it all. Right? Illuminate that future. As soon as you smile, your desired reality, the image on the other side of the mirror, image C, right? As soon as you smile, begins immediately to coalesce and form in physical reality, image B. Do you see it? I put it in solid because it is. It's just as real as that physical reality that you're looking at that's fading, right? And form in physical reality in image B, right? The old unwanted reality, image A, begins to fade immediately, although the movement is not perceptible by the 3D senses. Right? It's imperceptible until it isn't, but it's fading immediately. But what happens? We smile for a little while, and then we stop smiling and say, why hasn't he changed? Or why hasn't this changed? Or why is this going on? Oh, why is this event happening? Or someone says something to you and triggers you and you react, right? All of that prevents from that old reality from fading out and your new reality becoming a full-blown 3D manifestation and coalesced image in 3D. That's big. Let's unpack this a little bit more. So, when you demand to see proof or evidence that your life is better, before you feel better is like demanding a mirror smiles before you smile. It's like looking into a normal mirror and saying, why aren't you smiling as you talk to your reflection? It can't smile before you do. Do you get it, guys? Reality can't change until you do within, right? Feeling good and well-being is not the end, but rather the prerequisite. It's the beginning, the means, and the end. Sometimes we do processes and affirmations, things to feel better. When feel better is the prerequisite of reality creation. You're going from fulfillment to fulfillment, from feeling good to feeling good, right? That's what it's about. And then choosing what you want to experience next. You can't get there from feeling unfulfilled, right? You can't get to fulfillment from unfulfillment. There's no path, right? Your inner being, your higher self is always, is always smiling. Your inner being, your higher self is always smiling, is always lighting up your desires, your future, always sees you in the most highest ideal, always sees you with all your desires already fulfilled, right? When you are not, that's the feeling of negative emotion in your body. And when you're not feeling that, when you're not smiling like your inner being is smiling, you feel that as negative emotion in your body. That's what negative emotion is. It's your inner being saying, you're not feeling what I feel about you. You're not seeing reality in others, in the world, the way I see the world. Do you see that, right? And your inner being is reminding you to smile. That's big. So let's get at this some more. When you say it feels fake or it feels like I'm pretending, hear this, because we get this, I hear this comment, right? Oh, it just feels fake, it feels pretending. I really want to hit, I'm going to really hit this point today. You are like an actor who gets lost in their role. They forget who they really are. You're like Tom Hanks, maybe, forgetting he's Tom Hanks. He gets lost in the role. That's what you say. So if Tom Hanks starts saying, well, this feels fake. This I feel like I'm pretending. Right? You forgetting that you're not that, you're just an actor, right? Hear this. When it feels fake or it feels like you're pretending, you're like an actor who gets so lost in their role that they forgot who they really are, right? You're the movie star, right? But you're getting lost in the drama and trauma of your own movie, right? You're believing you are that. You believing you are that unwanted reality. Right? You are that person who doesn't smile. You're starting to believe it. But who you truly are is your inner being, that smiling inner being that's living out your desires and everything you could ever be, do, or want to have, ever. Your inner being's doing it. So you are the actor, the director, producer, writer of all of it. We've talked about this, right? Not only that, you're the projector and the light and the screen, the 3D screen of time and space. You create it all. You project it, you are the light, you write it, you direct it, you even project the screen, 3D time and space so it can be there. You do it all, it's all you, and we're not kidding you. So let's hit this a little more. Nothing happens out there independent of what you are thinking, feeling, believing, assuming, or in other words, your identity or your concept of yourself. Nothing happens outside of that. Nothing happens outside of what you're thinking, feeling, believing, assuming, or your identity or your concept. It all happens through that. And there's nothing outside in the outer reality that doesn't reflect that, right? You are and hear this. Sometimes we've talked about co-creating realities, right? Mass creation with others. But really, what are you really doing? You're co-creating reality with your inner being. And your inner being is connected with every other inner being in eternity. So imagine this. You've got all eternity at your fingertips. Yet you're looking at that 0.0001% and wondering why it hasn't changed. Do you hear this? When you and your inner being, that 3D you, providing the intention, providing the intention and the attention, can create whatever you want in entire eternity. You have access to all of it. But you're limiting it by getting caught up in what you're looking at in that 0.0001% of physical reality. Just like a night dream, the 3D dream is all happening within you. Right? Just like a night dream. That night dream's not separate from you. You believe it is as you're dreaming it. We talked about this in another video. You believe in the dream that those things, that the house you're looking at or the people you're talking to are separate from you. And then you wake up and go, oh, it was only a dream. It was all what? It was all within me. That's the same thing in the 3D world. But if you walk around unconscious, getting pulled this way and that way by the script, but believing you have free will because you're taking action, you're trying to influence events in 3D, you're using willpower, right? But none of that seems to work. It never really seems to work out. Why? Because you're awake, you're asleep in the waking dream. When you wake up, now you can influence people, events, and circumstances, but not directly, not with direct impact, through the connection to that higher power, through that connection to all there is, right? The people, events, and circumstances in your life are a mirror of your consciousness or a reflection or co-creation of you and your inner being. Hear this, think of it that way, that everything you see in 3D is constant feedback of what you're creating with your inner being. And when you're not smiling and your inner being is smiling, that's the disconnect. And that's when you feel negative emotion. But when you're feeling joy, when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling grateful, you and your inner being are aligned in creating the reality from that higher perspective, creating the dreams that do come true. Do you hear this? It's just a mirror of you and your inner being. And remember, your inner being is connected to everything and everyone, right? So let's unpack this a little bit more. Your inner being is connected and part of every other inner being, right? We are all in this together. This is what Abraham Hicks and other spiritual teachers say. Well, that's not just a nice phrase. That's real. We are really in this all together, right? You, the 3D world, the universe, all of it is a hologram or holographic and non-local. What does that mean? Every part of the whole contains the whole of all that is. It's everywhere. Every part of that something contains that whole something. Every part of a right? You can tear something up into little pieces, a hologram, and that little piece contains the whole of the hologram, contains the whole of the image. In the instant you smile, hear this. Why is that significant? Why? Because in the instant you smile, your smile is everywhere, and it's everything. Do you get the power in this? And when I say smile, I'm not just talking about a physical smile, but it's a smile from within, most importantly. But it could be a physical smile as well. You can't help smiling when Source is running through you, right? When you're connected to God, when you're connected to that power within. Why wouldn't you smile all the time? Who cares if people think there's something wrong with you? There's something, what's that even mean, something wrong? You're connected to all that is, right? It's not about, remember, it's not about deserving anything. And I get this a lot, like I really deserve it. I've really worked hard. None of that matters. That's all from a 3D linear perspective. There is no good or bad or right or wrong or you worked hard and you didn't. You deserve it by right of consciousness and only by right of consciousness. And that it's all yours. That good news is it's all yours when you align with it, when you correspond with it, right? When you're in a when you're vibrating with it, when you're in sync with it, when you're seeing it, perceiving it, and allowing it. It's all yours when you occupy it, when you assume it, right? When you become that identity of your highest ideal. That's reality creation. It's being it, right? That's big. So let's unpack this a little bit more. So I want to hit free will and willpower as we talked about. Remember, think of these as the lifelines or alternative realities. We've talked often about these. And they're infinite in number. right? And you could imagine that all the lifelines in eternity are all unrolled, and there are all these little slides of moments in time, frozen moments in time, right? Well, here you are. The blue current is the current frame. Here you are in the reality that you don't like, right? That you don't like. As you don't smile into the reality mirror, you create an image. You're imagining in a reality of you not smiling. Do you hear this? You're looking into the mirror. You can just as easily imagine your wish fulfilled. Imagine, illuminate the current frame of what you want. Illuminate a smiling frame. And as you do, you move lifelines, right? Remember, this script is written. So in your current frame, in the current reality, what you can do is illuminate the future. But don't fight against the current script. When you do, that's how you lose your free will, right? Free will is the free will to choose your reality, to choose who you're going to be, right, within. When you do, you move to your favorable lifelines. You move to the realities that you want. You move to your wish fulfilled. When you don't, you move to lifelines that reflect that and that are unfavorable lifelines, right? That's what we're talking about, the current frame, and that's your future frame. All scripts have been written. You can't change the script, but you can choose a new film roll. So it's about following the script consciously, going along, right? Seeing, knowing that you're quietly going upstairs and putting in a new film roll. Right? You're going above. You're rising in consciousness and putting in a new film roll, choosing a new alternative reality. So so when we talk about this, it's not about influencing people. When we think about influencing people, we think in a 3D linear perspective. Oh, I'm influencing their thoughts or their behavior. That's not right, right? This is what some of you say. It's not like that. Remember, we're all connected. All thought is connected. All thoughts are yours and all thoughts are not yours. I've said this in another video. So it's not about changing this reality or this current slide where you're not together or where their behavior is not the behavior you want. It's about lighting up. It's only about you and imagining your wish fulfilled. When you do, you move to a lifeline where they are behaving like you want. And where you are with the SP that you desire, or the special person or specific person you want. Do you see that? It's not about, when you think about influencing, you're thinking about willpower and taking away someone's free will by muscling it in, by changing the current 3D reality, by trying to influence their thoughts from the current slide. You can't, the only way you can influence reality, and it's the most powerful way, is to move with it by illuminating your future slide, by imagining your wish fulfilled. Then you're moved to your new reality. You're moved along the path of least resistance, right? So when you take action in the current frame, resisting reality, rejecting it, that physical action, you believe you're taking action. But that's all an illusion, because the real action is movement within. Wow, that's big. You cannot change the script, but you can choose a new film roll. It's not that you don't have free will. Rather, it's that oftentimes you're unconsciously being moved by the script, a script you didn't choose. Do you hear this? You think you have free will sometimes, right? But if you're unconscious, right, if you're not illuminating your future, imagining your wish for future, if you're not bringing awareness and attention to your state within, you're just following the script, right? And you believe you can change things through willpower and in 3D reality, but you're just binding yourself to a script that you didn't choose and a film roll that you didn't choose. A script that you don't want and a film roll you didn't choose. So let's unpack this a little bit more. You don't have free will to change the current script. It's been written. The film has been shot. And there's no changes there. You change by moving within, which will lead you across the path, the bridge of incidence, to everything you want, right? In 3D reality, right? It binds you to it when you try to resist it. You have free will to choose a new lifeline, a film roll, or alternative reality by illuminating your future desired frame. In other words, imagining your wish already fulfilled. And we hit that in the last couple of videos, right? When you are unconscious, you're being moved by a script you didn't want, and you're in a film roll you didn't choose. Do you hear this? Right? Even though you believe you have free will by using willpower to move within the script, it's just the illusion of movement and change. Right? It's just giving you an illusion that you're just moving 3D effects around. These physical movements and these changes you think you're making is not changing reality. It's binding you to your unwanted reality. Oh, that's big. But you're following the script unconsciously. So what do? You wake up. Right? Bring awareness to it. No, and how do you do that? By illuminating your future frame, by rolling that slide of your desired future, what you would like it to be, and then matching your inner reality to that, matching your inner talk, your inner talking, your inner speech, right? So free will actually means freedom to select any idea you desire. This is what Neville Goddard really said about free will. Right? He's not. This is what he means. Now it makes sense, right? It's to select your desired future, your wish fulfilled, the next frame. It's not to fight in vain against currently manifested reality or a script that's already written, right? Beyond that, he says, free will ends, and everything happens in harmony with the concept assumed. Meaning when you light up your future, when you imagine your wish fulfilled, you will be moved by that higher power within you. It's you and your inner being now aligned. You're moving together. The 3D you and your inner being to everything you want. But if you start trying to change the script or trying to force it or looking at it or getting impatient, now you're fighting the script. Now you believe that now you're losing your free will. Right? You have free will to choose. Beyond that, it ends and everything happens in harmony. But that's following, now you're going with the free will, call it the higher will of your inner being. Now you're being moved by the higher will, which reflects your free will because it reflects your wish fulfilled. Do you hear that? Right? Your free will really is to choose your wish fulfilled, to illuminate your future frame. And as you do that, you move together with your inner being, that higher will to everything you want, right? It's a delusion, here's what Neville says, that other than assuming the feeling of wish fulfilled, you can do anything to aid the realization of your desire. That's it, right? It's a delusion to think you can manipulate 3D to get you to what you want. It only pushes you away from what you want. It only pushes you on lifelines, unfavorable lifelines. It moves you to unfavorable lifelines, right? The fear of not having free will is the fear, hear this, that you can't be conscious and aware to choose your desired reality. So if you're fearing that you don't have free will, the only fear is the fear that I can't choose my desired reality, that I can't imagine my wish fulfilled, that I can't assume and align with my desired version of myself. Or you can't align or assume that desired version of yourself, right, in line with your chosen reality. That's all that means. You only lose your free will when you try to change the script, struggle, push against, and resist the current reality. That's all it is, guys. That's how the reality mirror won't smile until you do. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like, and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. You can also follow us on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron. And you can visit our website anytime at tomcaron.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Guys, with great love, great light, and really infinite gratitude, I'm just feeling so much love for this. I'll see you soon.